take a look at some more scouting reports, pre-combine from Dane Brugler. This time we're going to take a look at the edge rushers, another area the Browns could potentially tap into with their first-round pick. And this is a guy that a lot of people have talked about, Travon Walker. He's ranked 6th overall on Dane Brugler from the Athletics board. And you see, he could end up running a 4.5, 8.40. You see the splits, the verticals, the broad jumps, all of those things go with that comp that he's talking about, Rashawn Gary. He could end up really showing out and probably moving out of range of where the Browns would be able to get him if he does those things in the 40 and the splits and the vertical. Another guy is George Karlaftis from Purdue. Speed straight line explosion translated into impressive times in the 40s. 3-cone and short shuttle will be more important because he doesn't have that natural twitch like a lot of the elite edge rushers do. You see a couple of other names to keep an eye on. When you look at edge rushers, do you think that's where the Browns, is there any way you think the Browns go edge rusher at 13?
I think there's always that possibility, especially if they go really heavy at receiver and free agency. I mean, I've said before, this is the edge rusher class is the best position in the draft. It's top heavy and it's deep, which is incredible. And you look at this class, you can go 4 or 5 rounds deep potentially and still find quality edge rushers. They're not going to be positioned to get Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau, who are the 2 best guys. George Karlaftis and Travon Walker would make things interesting if they're available at 13, even if David Ojabo from Michigan is available at 13. I think he's got a chance to test extremely well at the combine. The only question I have with Travon Walker is going to be the same question I have with a lot of the Georgia players. They're all great players, but is their success tied to the fact that there's so many of those great players? Maybe I'm reaching for a negative for those guys, but I mean it was an all-time defense. So it's going to take time to really evaluate how good those players are, but you also have to put that under the microscope that, you couldn't pay attention to one guy. You had to pay attention to 7 or 8 guys on that Georgia defense. And I think Travon Walker is going to be really good in the pros. I think he's going to be a very talented edge rusher. If he's there at 13, the Browns don't want to go receiver, that'd be a good move. I mean, especially if you don't bring back Jadeveon Clowney. But that would be the only way I would go edge rusher in the first round, is if Clowney doesn't come back and they don't sign someone like Harold Landry. Otherwise, go in the second round, get a guy like Drake Jackson from USC or Myjai Sanders from Cincinnati to fill that edge rusher slot and be the third guy behind Garrett and Clowney. Either way, you're still going to need to draft one pretty high, as at least in the second or third round potentially. But it would be a mistake, I think, for the Browns to not try and invest one of those picks in the first 2 days on an edge rusher.